Welcome back to Office Hours at Interview At, where we focus on teaching you how to use the Amazon leadership principles to land any job at your dream company, no matter the role, no matter the level. I use these office hour segments to answer questions I get in the follow-up and feedback sessions with the mock interview candidates that come through the process. And today I'm going to focus on a question that I get a lot from the candidates, which is, what is a bad answer? Now, this is where I say, if the content here is valuable to you and you find it useful, please make sure you just like the video or subscribe to the channel. It tells YouTube I'm doing a good job. But if you'd like to sign up for your free mock interview, because I do them for free, you can go to interviewat.com. Okay, so what is a bad answer? I get lots of questions in feedback sessions, but that's one of the most common ones I get. That's actually a bad question. It's a poorly formulated question because there's so much that's dependent upon. What role are you going for? What level? What were you doing? There's too many things that are just that question was dependent on. What was the actual question was answered on? What was the actual question you were asked? All of these things would influence the answer to what is a bad answer. That's not what you need to be thinking about. Okay. The most important thing you need to be thinking about when you're delivering an answer in an interview to an interview person on the other side of a camera or the other side of the table is, what is the cost of my answer? Think about that for a second. What does that actually mean? Well, there's an information asymmetry which exists in a job interview. And you've probably never used the phrase information asymmetry as it pertains to an interview, but I'm going to clarify what that means and why it's important to you. What you say in an interview defines you. The person you're meeting with, more often than not, does not know you. You are a resume, maybe a LinkedIn profile. You've come through the applicant tracking system. Maybe you have a personal referral to the company. Maybe they know you, right? Very slim chance they actually know you personally. So they don't know you. So everything you say in that room defines you. So the risk of a bad answer to you is extremely high. Because if you don't do a good job of framing yourself and telling the story that positions you in the best possible light, you might be out of a job opportunity. The other side of that, which is now I'm the interviewer, there is almost no cost to me not paying attention in the interview, right? Yeah, everyone hates doing interviews and they don't want to sit through a bunch of them, and there's a huge cost to making a bad hire. But if you give a bad answer, chock full of information, super technical, great answer in your mind, but not well thought out, not structured very well, if you create a cognitive load for the interviewer and they're not paying attention, they just kind of lose the thread, they will get up, they will walk out of the room, and they will forget about you as soon as the door closes. So the information asymmetry is, it's actually a cost asymmetry, is the cost to you is extremely high, the cost to them is extremely low. Because they will now go and say, well, I don't want to hire that person, they weren't good, they couldn't answer your question very clearly, blah, 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 blah. Now, they might be in the minority during the candidate follow-up, which, if a process is being done well, you've had multiple people interview and that one person might be an outlier and everyone says, well, here's my notes and, your notes don't really stand up. But if everyone kind of gets a ho-hum, read on a candidate, if it's a good organization, they're not going to hire you, right? Because the risk of a bad hire is way too high. So when you come into your answer without a good story that maps to the question that was asked, without proper structure or a good structure, and without supporting metrics and kind of a lessons learned, if you don't have those key elements in your interview answer, I don't care what the job is. This applies to all jobs. And these are behavioral interview questions, not the kind of technical specific, coding questions, or even the tell me about yourself or where do you see yourself in 10 years, although even those are somewhat behavioral. But I'm talking about the tell me about a time when type questions. If you don't have those elements in your answer, you're basically setting yourself up for failure. So this is a key learning as you think about your preparation for your interviews. It's, story preparation matters. That means have your stories from your resume, be able to speak comfortably about things that you have included in your resume or that you have included in your LinkedIn profile, because you are likely to get asked about them. Be ready to speak comfortably about them, but be able to speak about them in a way that is structured, that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Here's what was going on in the company. Here's the situation task. This is not the star format, the situation task. Here's what we did, the action. Here's result. You must have metrics. If you don't supply metrics or some kind of guidepost for how you knew you were being successful, a high profile, high performing company is going to lower your value as a candidate. right? So you've got to be able to support your conclusions or what you did with metrics. And then bonus points for lessons learned or key insights that help you solve the problem, etc. All of those are framing elements that build your house of an answer, that then sets you up for success with the interviewer. Because again, and this is your number one takeaway from this, you do a terrible job of framing yourself in your interview. The cost to you is extremely high. The cost to the interviewer is extremely low. They can get up, walk out of that room and forget about you and never think about you again, and it doesn't affect them one bit. But you don't get the job. That sucks. It's probably damaging to your morale, right? You're kind of going through the process of, oh God, this is brutal. I don't want to keep doing this, right? You start questioning yourself. You start questioning your worth. Maybe you take that bad attitude into work and it starts impacting your ability to do your actual job that you're currently doing. So there's a lot of costs associated with you with not doing the proper preparation and setting yourself up for success because you didn't really think through and understand that cost asymmetry, which is if you don't come to play, it's going to cost you a lot more than the person interviewing you. And that's it. That's really the key lesson here, and that you have to understand, and hopefully that comes through. So once again, office hours, we answer the questions that we get, or I get, I guess, through my follow-up sessions. Also in the comments below, if you have questions that you'd like to ask me about, hey, how should I think about this interview process, or I'm trying to get this job, or how should I think about my career, whatever you want to know. I've had a lot of help in my life on my come up. I've had a great career, and this is just one of the ways I like to give back. So hopefully we'll hear from you in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next week.